No. Literally, the word no does not exist in today's vocabulary when talking to these people. Companies cannot say no. Foundations cannot say no. It literally has to say, oh, we're in the wrong. We're apologize. We made this mistake. Oh, we should never have come out. We're on a freaking apology tour to a bunch of people who have their feelings on their sleeves and are hypersensitive about shit they don't understand. Why are we using them as the guideposts for where our society should be? Hello all, it's Mr. Q from the Enablist. Yes, I'm putting out another video. We'll see how this one goes. Right now I don't know whether to laugh, cry, or scream. Dr. Seuss got canceled. Dr. Seuss. I grew up on this. I grew up on Dr. Seuss. Green eggs and ham. Everybody remember that? Green eggs and ham, green eggs and ham. I remember that. Big orange book. My mom used to have it and read it uh, when I was younger. I always remembered that. He was a classic. He was classic, a staple of the. He was a staple of children's reading for years and years and years and years. His rhymes were funny. They were creative. It made you think when you read them. It was entertaining and it was funny. But apparently that's too much for average America or people who get easily offended. I don't know what's going on with the world, but this is just effing stupid. This is stupid on so many levels. So this is USA Today. They got so many freaking pop-up ads. It's a wonder I could even so many levels. So this is USA Today. They got so many freaking pop-up ads. It's a wonder I could even get anything on the screen. But yeah, just shows you the state of the news industry today. They can't make enough money, so they got to shove plenty of ads in your face. Dr. Seuss sales spike amid controversy. Author's stepdaughter reacts to books being pulled. This is bullshit. This is literal, unadulterated bullshit by some bunch of namby-pambies who got their panties in a twist because their portrayal of something years and years ago where culture was 100% different is now so offensive to them. Why don't we just rewrite history at the same time? World War II. Oh man, that was so bad. We did so many bad things. Let's just ignore that. Let's just take it out of the history books. It didn't happen. Let's cancel World War II. Or maybe I don't know. What are we what else can we cancel from the past? Should we cancel the Constitution? Should we cancel I don't know I don't know. There's a list of things that can apparently offend these panty wastes. Eventually, you're going to go to the point where you're going to go walk into a store and you can't buy a book that hasn't been sanitized and washed of anything but woke culture, woke ideology, and social justice propaganda. This bullshit. This is history. This is legacy. And I saw a couple expert excerpts on this book on another channel because I personally have never read these books. Um, and they showed me what was in that book, and it was creating a stereotype of Asian people, uh, which in 1937 was not a huge deal. That was probably considered quite funny or quite normal. In today's society, no. It's definitely not. You couldn't write a Dr. Seuss book in 1937 and expect it to have the same level of and expect to have it interact with society in the same way as it did back then. But you can't destroy your past to sanitize your future. That doesn't work. You have to know where you came from, know where you've been, in order to understand where you are and where you need to get to. You erase the beginning of that step. You only know where you are. You don't know where you are actually in your realm of change and growth. You're stuck there because you have nothing to look back at and say, okay, I can do better than what I did here. Growth has a start, a middle, and an ending. Well, sure, most people should not have an ending, but you get my point. You have to have a starting point, and you have to be able to progress and have goalposts and milestones and continue to expand and think differently and open up new avenues of thought and a process. You can't just destroy it and then expect to continue to grow. It's like a plant. And he was like, oh, wow, look at all the roses and beautiful and everything. But that root ball is so nasty. Just cut the roots off. What happens to the plant? It dies. It doesn't have what it came from in order to continue to grow. It's just bullshit. Just utter and complete foul bullshit. And the people who came up with this should be utterly ashamed of themselves. They aren't. They're just going to be so super happy with themselves. We cleaned something else up. Now what can we go after next? We're in a power roll. We got Gina Carano. We started nailing Dr. Seuss. We started taking on what was his name? Guy who played Superman, Cavill. Which, by the way, he played a great Witcher. And they took out Cavill because of something that was 10 years ago. He dated Gina Carano. Anyway, the point is they're on a freaking roll, and people just keep bowing to them and saying, "Oh yes, yes, we are so in the wrong. Let's sanitize this. Let's take this away because it hurt your fifis." No, literally, the word "no" does not exist in today's vocabulary when talking to these people. Companies cannot say no. Foundations cannot say no. It literally has to say, "Oh, we're in the wrong. We're apologize. We made this mistake. Oh, it should never have come out." We're on a freaking apology tour to a bunch of people who have their feelings on their sleeves and are hypersensitive about shit they don't understand. Why are we using them as the guideposts for where our society should be? They don't even know where we came from. They choose not to understand it. Or they only view it through one lens, and that's the one that somehow they got and cobbled together and created this identity politics style process in order to see the world. It's ridiculous, it's stupid, but you can't get it through their heads. I've tried talking to people like this on Facebook, on Twitter, on everything like that. You can throw logical solutions, logical answers. You can ask logical questions. You can bring facts. You can bring truth. You can give them evidence after pile of evidence, evidence, and it doesn't change a thing. I said this somewhere else, but they love their own lie too much. They've created it. They've built it. It's their world. They love it so much that anything that counteracts it or makes it look bad is irrelevant. It's like when you really love somebody or something, you've got rose colored glasses on. All you can see is the great things about what you're doing. You can't, or that person or that item or whatever it is. That's all you can see. You got the blinders on. That's what they do with their lie, with their social justice, with their identity politics, all of that. They've just gone so accustomed to it. They created their little bubble, their little sphere, and all their little friends are inside of it. All this giant echo chamber going on. And they're hearing their own voice repeated over and over and over again, and it soothes them. It makes them happy. So you come in and you try to pop that bubble with truth or logic or reason or evidence or facts, and they can't hear their own voice going back and forth in their heads. They can't hear themselves anymore, constantly praising their good works. So, oh no, 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 no. Turn your cannons on that. You can't destroy that for me. You can't take that away. No, 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 no. No matter what you say, I'm right. I'm right. Nobody else is right. I'm right. And only people who agree with exactly what I say, with what I believe. Anybody else who deviates from what I think is right is irrelevant, and they're stupid. They don't understand. They're old. It literally, I mean, that's kind of the responses I've been getting on Facebook when I've or Twitter or wherever where I've brought these things up. It does not matter. You can yell, you can scream, you can talk politely, you can talk nicely. Nothing seems to get through to them. So with that mentality, you take that bubble of this SJW, these Twitter fiends, these SJ, these this politics, this identity setup, and we're using them as a way to construct our society forward. A group that cannot take any criticism, that cannot does not want to learn from anything else but their own inner circle, who does not want to see anything outside of their own inner circle, even when it's presented to them. That's the group that we're allowing to lead us forward into the future. That's not how we got here. You can't get rid of how you got here in order to move forward. So it's going to stunt our growth. It is just going to destroy us from the inside out, and we're going to have a bunch of really I can't even imagine how bad that would be. But every single company, every single foundation, every time these people pop their ugly heads up and get their little mob together to try and take down something without understanding references or logic or intellect or culture or anything, just their ideology, just their woke echo chamber. That's the only thing they can hear, and the voice is pushing them onward. That's all they can hear. And they just destroy stuff. They just destroy it. It has no reason, no basis in fact, just someone's emotions and feelings and predetermined concepts of the world. Oh, I sorry. Sorry for the rant. I'm just effing pissed with this stupid shit. This is stupid. Utterly, completely stupid. And until the effing world wakes up, until every single one of these companies and their foundations and people start saying no, start saying you're wrong, standing up to them, standing up to their politics, standing up to their methodology, to their attacks, to their hatred, to their cancel culture. You just got to stand up to that. Until you stand up to that, they're just going to keep going right over you. And they're going to make things worse and worse and worse. Bowing down to them to appease them just makes them stronger. It doesn't it pushes the problem somewhere else, which for a lot of companies is easy to do. Oh, it's not our problem anymore. And because it doesn't directly affect them anymore, they just continue to do it. They're like, "Oh, okay, let's just appease them right now so we don't look bad for our investor call, so we don't lose money, so we don't look really bad in the media, and let it become somebody else's problem." Okay? And then once they cave in for that, ooh, Bob's happy. They're happy. Who's next on the agenda? Who's next? Who's next? Who is next? And then they look, and then the next person goes, and they cave again. The next company caves. The next person caves. Every time, and bolstering their numbers, bolstering their confidence that what they're doing is right, that they have the power to control the industry, to control our culture, to control how we think and how we act. One word stops it all. No. N-O. Not okay or I'm sorry or appeasement. Cut it out. The United States did not get where it was through appeasement. We got pissed, we threw some tea in the harbor, and we put a big FU up to Britain and said, you know what? This tax on tea is the last straw for us. Screw you. And that is literally the beginning of the U.S. is we literally told the empire, or well, I guess an empire at the time. It was a big, 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 big government, and said no. We said no. The whole country, the entirety of the United States, our government, our system of laws, our our Declaration of Independence, all started with one word. You know what that word was? No. No. How did we lose that word? How did we lose the ability to take our to say that word, to hold true to our beliefs, to hold our what we think and what we know is right, and say we're not doing this. I don't agree with this. This is wrong, and not be afraid to be taken to task for it. But also learn when we're wrong. Otherwise, we turn right into the woke culture. If we cannot accept when we're wrong, if we cannot be learn to be so overconfident, that's what takes those SJWs is they're overconfident. They think they know everything. We should be willing to learn and to listen. That's how we grow. But when we know what we know is right, what is true, what is factual, we can hold to our guns and say, no, we're not changing. We're not doing what you want to do because it is wrong. So, the takeaway from this, which I started out reading a news article and went into one huge giant rant about cancel culture, the takeaway from this is learning the word no. It's still in the dictionary for now, but wait till they get their hands on it. All negativity, gone. This is Mr. Q from The Enablist. Catch you on the next vid.